Here's another pattern entirely that I haven't addressed yet. This will be the first video and we'll reinforce them. I prefer doing these as we see them so they're more current and relevant than presenting all this material like it's a textbook. So this morning at 4:10 a.m. we made this low here, and we made a lower low at 4:35 and an even lower low at 5:55. And if you notice the RSI from this low here, let's just draw it down to make it clearer to see, and let's blow this up. And if you draw this one down and this one down, oops, it got crooked there. You can see that the RSI made a higher high and an even higher high. So that's a sign that we were losing momentum to the downside as we made this final low. So watching our U-turn count from here on the 5-minute, you have an A, B, C up, and that high didn't get taken out, so we ended up with another U-turn over here, A, B, C up. And we know that once this gets taken out, we have a U-turn, but there was a early way to get a jump on this trade, and that was just noticing that relative to this bar, we had an inside bar. This is 96, this was 96, 96. The high was 275, the high was 2. So this is slightly inside. And then we had a slightly outside bar. This is 23, 95 and a quarter. And then this is an inside bar. So inside, outside, inside, which is considered a breakout pattern. So when we broke out from this pattern, then we knew that we would have more upside. And, the first move up here stopped just shy of making the U-turn. You had a 1-bar pullback, and then we got the U-turn. And given that this was all happening in pre-market, and, typically at 8:30 when the market opens, anything can change. This is 8:30 where the market opened. I would look to something like just a Fibonacci retracement of the overnight action. And you could see that we got to the 58, the 50 retrace. If you waited till after the open, you got to about the 61 retrace. But either way, relative to this bar right here, which is about 22 points, 21 points, got my math wrong there, sorry, 175, 21 points large. You went from 119 to 253, 140 points off of 21 points. So 7R if you held it up here, probably about 4R if you held it to here. So again, this also highlights the importance of stalking a position. Trading doesn't mean you just show up and put something on. You start watching this, and I didn't actually get here till 5 something in the morning, so these had already happened. This came down over here, and then I just kind of noticed this was happening, so just patiently waiting. And the U-turn could have been my entry spot, but instead I saw this outside, inside, outside, inside pattern, which helped me get a jump on it. Just off the top of my head, I remember with crude, let's look at a weekly chart. And this of course works on all time frames. We had this high, and this high. Yet we had a lower low in RSI, another lower low in relative strength. So that was a sign that momentum was waning. And when you get the third hump, you can basically wait for another bar to complete. So for sure, because if you look at this, that's higher, 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 higher. The very first time it turned was right here. Oops, let me follow the line up. So you could have shorted, Friday on the close, since this is a weekly chart, or anytime over the next 2 weeks, you're able to get that price without taking out that high. So again, from a weekly perspective, this bar is about $5 big, and we went from over 80 to 62.43. So basically $17.50 on $5 risk if you just blindly did it based on the weekly. I'm sure within the dailies and other time frames there would have been ways to tighten up your risk and make way more than that. But just off the top of my head, this was another example where this pattern led to a nice windfall. Going forward now, this was another lower low here, and we had a dip, but this is what keeps markets interesting. Ukraine, etc., is causing a breakout of this line right here. So anyway, if you like the content, give me a like, start subscribing, drop a comment. I'm happy to respond as soon as I can, and I love engaging in the topic of markets.